Hi, I'm Danielle and welcome to my perfume journal. In this video, I'm going to be sharing all of the perfumes that I sampled in the month of January. A really important part of being a perfume enthusiast for me is trying new things, sampling perfumes, and really appreciating the depth and the breadth of the artistry of perfumery. What I was finding over the last year or so is that I was sampling so much that I wasn't even enjoying my own collection, and frankly, I wasn't even enjoying my samples. I was just kind of like blowing through them so fast to try to smell everything. And so toward the end of last year and into this year, I decided I really wanted to slow my roll with sampling and to sample more slowly, more intentionally, rather than like chasing as many perfumes as possible. And honestly, it has been so much more enjoyable to do this. I keep my sampling notes in my perfume journal and I go back to them often, like whenever I want to revisit a sample or when I'm actually giving it a proper wear. So this is my sample log for January. This is where I keep track of everything I've sampled, what type of perfume it was. Was it a niche perfume, an artisan perfume, a designer, a vintage, a celebrity? What scent family was it in? Is it a floral, a fresh, a woody, an amber, or a gourmand? What did I think of it? Did I like it? Did I not like it? Did I love it? And is it going on the wish list? And this is my sampling diary for January. This is where I keep my notes and impressions of everything I've smelled, all of the samples I've smelled over the course of the month. And in January, I sampled a total of 15 perfumes from 2 discovery sets and a couple of individual samples. In this series of sampling videos I'm starting today, I will tell you a little bit about my impressions and reflections of what I'm sampling throughout the month. So I started 2025 with a real treat. This discovery set called The Elements from the independent artisan brand Miskeo. This brand is entirely created and operated by Marie-Pierre Blanchette. I received this discovery set from my friend Pep, who I'm sure you know as the Sentinel on YouTube. He is a perfume enthusiast, a reviewer, an evaluator, and I hold him in the highest regard, and I also feel very, very lucky to call him a friend. I'm very grateful to Pep for sharing this discovery set to me and to another wonderful perfume friend who passed it along to me. So let me start by saying that Miskeo is an incredibly thoughtful, artistic, well-curated collection. I would describe it as perfumed anthropology. In these 5 scents, Marie-Pierre has literally captured the whole of the human existence. There is art, there is history, memories, nature, spiritualism, sensation, emotion. All of these things are woven together cohesively, and yet each perfume can stand on its own and tell its own story. So first we have Brume. Brume is a very mystical scent. It is like a thick and hazy mineralic fog that kind of glides silently through a forest, weaving its way through the blue-black evergreen trees. I would describe this perfume as hypnotic and mesmerizing. This is Daim. Daim is a perfume that smells vintage but not dated. It is like the scent of a well-worn leather chair in the familiar, comfortable family room of like a 1930s bungalow. It's a room where the walls are like covered with cabbage rose wallpaper, but they're just kind of slightly smoke-stained from grandfather's pipe. This to me was the most evocative perfume in the collection. The moment I smelled it, it instantly conjured this image of this room, and I just think it's a really beautiful leather perfume. So this is Arquiste, and Arquiste is like sunset hues of copper, of goldenrod, of sienna. This is like a gourmand perfume that has been created by a chef. It has cooking spices of cardamom and coriander, and they're all wrapped up in this gorgeous kind of like sticky resinous base with some aged woods underneath. It's really very beautiful and very much a savory gourmand. So this is Feuille, and Feuille is like a garden of earthy greens. It's like the kind of vegetable garden that on a breezy day is sending out its like herbaceous vegetal wafts everywhere. It's extremely green, but green to the point where it's like a tea that has been steeped so perfectly that it has no bitterness to it whatsoever. This was absolutely my favorite perfume in the entire collection. I love green, vegetal, verdant scents, and this is one of the best I've ever smelled. And finally in the collection, this is Pistil, and Pistil is a whole bouquet, but it's a wild bouquet. It's intoxicating narcissus and waxy jasmine and delicate little violets that still have their green violet leaves intact, clinging to their little snapped green stems. It's like a huge bunch of freshly picked flowers that is so big your hands can hardly hold them. Really just such a beautiful, natural, meadowy kind of a floral perfume. So moving on to the two loose perfume samples on the tray. The first is Comme, Gant from Voyages Imaginaires. So this is the all-natural brand that was created by Camille Goutal, Annick Goutal's daughter, and the longtime Goutal perfumer Isabelle Doyen. And the quality of the materials in this line is like second to none. I happened to win a travel size of one of their perfumes in a giveaway last year, and they sent me this discovery set along with the prize, which was so nice. So Comme, Gant translates to like a glove, and that is exactly what it is. It wears on the skin like a soft, buttery glove. It's a creamy, woody perfume, and it has notes of sandalwood, some vanilla, there's coconut, cardamom, and some grassy vetiver. It's like a translucent veil of a perfume. It's very smooth, it's exquisitely blended, and very, very balanced. I've been seeking my perfect sandalwood perfume for quite some time, and this one might be a contender. The first time I wore this, I think I put on too much because it was a little heavy for me personally in the dry down, so I'd like to try it again because there is absolutely no question this is an excellent sandalwood perfume. Next is a perfume I have talked about endlessly on this channel, I feel like, since I started it, and it's Venice Rococo from Arquiste. It's a very, very powdery floral, very Marie Antoinette coated. It's very coquettish, but also just a little tiny bit naughty. This is from the hand of Rodrigo Flores Roux, and it is just extremely beautiful, a very powdery floral. Next, I sampled Hiram Green's entire current line of perfumes. This is another discovery set I won in a giveaway before I dumped all my social media platforms. But anyway, Hiram Green is another perfumer who uses all naturals in a really artistic manner. I was most excited to try Moonbloom, his tuberose perfume, and Slowdive, his honey-forward perfume, and so I'll give you a brief description of each of the perfumes in this discovery set. So first we have Arbole, which is a very nice, soft, woody perfume. It's got sandalwood as the featured note. It's very creamy, very enveloping. I really enjoyed sniffing this one. This is Arcadia. Arcadia is an aromatic fougere with very prominent notes of lavender, patchouli, and tonka. This is not my preferred style of perfume to wear, but like all of his perfumes, I think you really have to appreciate the careful work it takes in creating something like this. Naturals are really, really difficult to work with. They're less predictable than synthetics, and they really require a hand that is both scientific and artistic in order to make them behave the way you want them to in a perfume. And Hiram Green is, to me, one of those perfumers like Mandy Aftel and Isabelle Doyen, who I mentioned earlier in this video, where the use of naturals is so impeccably done that they create these really beautiful, really wearable perfumes. So this is Hyde. This is a very, very smoky perfume that dries down to kind of like a muted leather, but it opens with this humongous birch tar opening. This is definitely not my style of perfumery. Again, I think I can really appreciate the artistry of this, but for folks who love leather and really smoky birch tar perfumes, this is an incredible example of how it can be done very, very well using natural ingredients. Moving on to Moonbloom, this is my favorite kind of tuberose perfume. It's not that sweet bubblegummy tuberose, which I also love, but I think of that more in like the designer sector. This is a green, stemmy, spicy tuberose, more along the lines of the kind of tuberose you would find in perfumes like Christophe Ladamielle's Tuberose Organique, which is from his discontinued brand, The Zoo. The tuberose in this is also balanced out by like some creamy coconut, some resins, and some spices that kind of soften it up. It's just a super incredible take on this flower. And I would say this is one of the top 3 tuberose perfumes I have ever smelled in my entire life. So here we have Philtre. Philtre is so exceptional. I mean, these perfumes are unbelievable. I spent an entire afternoon one day sniffing through all of these, and every perfume I was like, wow. This is carnation. This is pure, unadulterated carnation. It is peppery and zesty and sassy. You can always pick out carnation when it's present in a perfume because it has that clove-like aroma, but a really carnation-forward perfume can sometimes be a bit much, but not here. Here it is just exquisite, and again, a feat of natural perfumery. This is Shangri-La. Shangri-La is just a really nice, lovely, light, airy sheep, kind of in the vein of Mitsuko or some of the lighter classic sheeps from houses like Grossmith. Again, is so wild to me that somebody can make a sheep of this quality using only natural materials, especially when you think about the restrictions that keep coming out on naturals every year. This is literally a genius of a perfumer. So I saved my favorite 2 for last. This is Slowdive. Slowdive is beeswax and honey. It is smooth and unctuous and golden, and there's like a little nod to pollination because there's a little floral undertone to this honey perfume. This and Bee from Zoologist are just 2 of the best honey perfumes in my humble opinion, and I think they're just like an homage to little fuzzy bees everywhere. And then there was Tryst. So Tryst is orange blossom. It's bright, it's crisp, it's green. It's like a budding orange tree in springtime. And it's one of those perfumes that is so unbelievably beautiful in its simplicity that it makes you like want to cry. But you know that there was nothing simple about creating this perfume. So there we have it, my perfume sampling diary for January. I hope you enjoyed hearing about some new perfumes or maybe hearing a different take on perfumes that you have or you have sampled. If you have tried any of these, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please share. I love talking about perfumes that I've been sampling and thinking about. Thank you so much for watching, for spending your time with me, for chatting with me about perfumes. I appreciate you being here so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.